welcome to another episode of Drew's Brew Reviews. Remember, if you want more beer videos, beer reviews, written reviews, any of that kind of stuff, go to drewsbrewsreviews.com, website I started up that has all of that all in one place. So what I'm doing today is a little bit different from what I usually do. I usually do individual beers, kind of talk about some aspects of their style or their history, but this time not going to do that. This is going to be more of straight up beer reviews for the concept that I have next to me here. It's Southern Tier's Fuse Box. Now the whole concept behind this is Southern Tier wanted to put together 3 beers that would mix really well together and just let people have fun with it. Now for this particular, the Fuse Box that they have 3 different beer styles here.
Southern Tier's IPA is brewed with 4 different hops and 4 types of malt. The ABV is 7.3%, and this is their standard, readily available IPA. Southern Tier's PMX is brewed with 3 different hops and 3 different types of malt. The ABV is 5.7%, and this beer was known as Finn and Matt's Extraordinary Ale before being rebranded as PMX. Southern Tier's Porter is brewed with 2 different hops and 5 types of malt. The ABV is 5.8%. This is Southern Tier's standard, readily available porter.
So before I get to the blending, I'm going to just taste these individually and just give just a really quick assessment of them. Let's go ahead and check out the IPA first here. It's not like a huge hop aroma to this. Definitely seems like a mild IPA as far as the aroma is concerned. Go ahead and taste it. Has a nice citrusy bitterness to it. Hops aren't huge. Malt, maybe a touch of orange, and a nice bit of bitterness. Nice sudsy head on it. 2-finger, holding pretty well. Has some decent retention. Definitely has a bit of body to this. It's not overly watery. Someone's not an IPA still isn't going to like this. It definitely asserts itself as an IPA, but I think it might be much more drinkable once blended together. So we'll see. All right, this is the PMX, the Extraordinary Ale here. Yeah, this is more yeasty, absolutely musty, actually, kind of an oaty pilsner smell, like you're kind of rummaging around in some of the grain. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Has just a touch of bitterness to it, a little seltzery quality, malty, kind of grainy yeast, a little bit more watery than the IPA. It's a little bit more just a straight up ale. It doesn't really do anything all that interesting, but again, given the premise of the entire case, makes sense. And then of course we have the porter here. So some roast raisin and just a bit of chocolate on it. And they do call it a robust porter, and I do believe that assessment could end up being pretty decent. So let me go ahead and give this a try. Definitely on the lighter side. It's got a thin mouthfeel to it. Definitely roasty, definitely a bit of raisin. Doesn't go too sweet. The roast definitely comes through a little bit more. On the end, it seems to have a little bit of creamy roast to go along with that kind of plum raisin. It's not bad if you want a roasty porter. Again, it's fairly simple porter. It's not going to blow you away with its complexity, but it's also drinkable and not heavily alcohol. That makes it great for a summer drinking day. That's kind of the 3 beers here. Now, interestingly, Southern Tier, on the top of their Fuse Box here, they have kind of a listing of recipes of what they recommend to mix these together, like 2 parts IPA, 1 part PMX. Just experiment however you want, mixing them together to see what taste you can come up with. In addition, though, to those recipes, at the bottom they actually go into some of their other beers that they have. So this is really all about not just this box, but even beyond that, of combining beers. And Southern Tier, I think, does a good job of brewing beers that do work well together. Obviously, one of my favorite, if you've seen a past episode, would be the Pumpkin and the Warlock mixed together to make Working. Works really, really well. So anyway, I'm just going to mix a couple of these together with what I have left over here and just, play around with it and see how successful it is. Anyway, I could obviously sit here and do this all day. Not going to do that. This wouldn't be like fantastic, I think, for craft beer drinkers that like, hey, mix these two together and try that and tell me how you like it. Like, no one's really going to be blown away by what they're tasting here, but they're going to have an enjoyable time, I think, with the experience of it. It's not all that expensive. I think the IPA is actually pretty darn good here for what it is. It's a simple IPA, but it does a good job. For me, I think it's worth getting just to play around with, have a good time. If you want a case of something, you see this there's nothing else that's really, catching your eye. Rather than get some, the basic variety cases from whatever other brewer, this might be a fun one to get and play around with.
Go to drewsbrewsreviews.com for more video and written beer reviews. Follow me on Twitter at DrewBrewReviews, leave off the first two S's for savings, for the latest on big beer releases and PA events.